Yo, what's up, friends? Today we are back on Pokemon Showdown for another part of our daily Mega Laddering series where I'm basically taking some of the new Megas from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and just laddering with them. So today's Mega is a Mega that I found out was allowed by accident. I'm just, battling this guy. He has a Latias. I'm like, okay, let me just go out into my Bisharp and I can tank this attack. He Mega Evolves. I'm like, what? And it gets all blue, and he just drops the Draco and gone. Well, obviously I wasn't dead. It just did a lot, but yeah, Mega Latias is really cool. It got so many buffs. So let's actually look at the team right here. I'm so scared to click these because the EVs randomly jump. It wasn't me. It's Showdown that does this. So Mega Latias. Okay, let's just look at its stats real quick. 100 attack, 120 defense, 140 special attack, 150 special defense, and of course it retained its 110 speed. So this thing is bulky. Without any special defense investment, it has 336 SPDF. So I figured, let me abuse a new set that we can use. So I decided to use Subcombine Stored Power. What Stored Power does is, the more boost that I have, the stronger it is. So this has the ability to 2 KO Chansey. This has the ability to beat Mega Slowbro 1v1 and beat all other Combine users bar dark types that can Combine up. So basically this set is only walled by dark types, which is why well, let me explain my set before I actually explain the team with it. So I decided that there's no real point in running max speed on this Pokemon. It doesn't need the speed to take hits. Anything that's going to be faster than it, something like a Latios or a Latias, I don't want to take a Draco anyway. So I decided that I would only run enough speed to outspeed Heracross before it Mega Evolves, outspeed Pinsir before it Mega Evolves, outspeed Kyurem, outspeed Landorus T that are not Jolly, and basically just outspeed standard spreads as well as Mamoswine and stuff like that. So I want 100 defense and 248 HP because this actually allows me to live Bisharp's Sucker Punch. This allows me to live Bisharp's Pursuit, which is the most important part because I want to be able to switch out versus that Pokemon. I also do have substitutes, so basically if they go for Pursuit and I'm behind a sub, it'll only attack my sub. So Mega Latias, cool Pokemon, cool concept. It's weak to Dark type. It's weak to Steels. So first Pokemon that comes to mind, Chestnut. Chestnut now has Drain Punch with the release of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Well, the release of the demo anyway, and the hacking that we did. Drain Punch with Spikes basically deals with, it wears down Steel types. It deals with Bisharp. It's like 100% counter to Bisharp. The best thing Bisharp could do is like Iron Head, Flinch to Death. I guess you could say, okay, Bisharp can go for Psycho Cut, but nobody runs Psycho Cut on their Bisharp. Leech Seed plus Spiky Shield, just longevity. Annoying, honestly, for any physical attacker. And next up, I was like, okay, Mega Salamence is around. It's an annoying Pokemon. I need something for it. So I was like, okay, time to use maybe not the best set, but something that can check sub DD Mega Salamence. So I decided on Skarmory. This Skarmory set is specifically here to break sub DD Mega Salamence. I have Brave Bird to break the sub. I do have 24 attack EVs, so I can break some variants of the sub. Toxic to wear it down, Roost, and Counter. This also helps me versus SD Mega Scizor, which is a very big threat to my team, though a lot of Mega Scizors are not really running around because people are just having fun with the new Megas, though I believe SD Mega Scizor is really good right now. Just physically, max HP, max defense. Please don't tell me any of the EVs jumped. Don't. Okay, perfect. And this also helps me versus Bisharp as well if this thing goes down, versus Pinsir and stuff like that. And I decided to run Shed Shell because Magnezone is annoying and it's one of those steel types that I want to trap. So I decided to run Shed Shell plus Dugtrio because they might assume that I'm what's that item? Rocky Helmet. So they might try and go for Volt Switch even if they go for HP Fire. Basically, unless they go for Flash Cannon, Dugtrio can trap them. So I'll switch directly into Dugtrio, go for Earthquake, trap it. This also works for Heatran, T-Tar, Pokemon like that, they'd be trapped. So that's why I have Dugtrio right here. Helps me trap steals, helps Latias. This team was built around Latias sweeping, which is why I have Spike support as well. So next up, I didn't really have much that wanted to take a Draco from an opposing Latias. I didn't have anything for really Talonflame, so I decided to run Spadef-Tran. Spadef-Tran gets up my rocks, protects, goes for Toxic, wearing down Talonflame, wearing down Zard-Y, though I have like a complete counter to Zard-Y, a complete counter to Keldeo. I didn't even have to worry about Keldeo when I built this. This thing has more defense than like regular Latias without any EVs, I already am bulkier than regular Latias. I don't even have to worry about Keldeo at all, as Heatran also helps me, not necessarily with Clefable, but to be honest, I'm not too worried about Clefable because I can Calm Mind up alongside it, and it's not really going to be doing too much. I might change Toxic to Roar, but that leaves me weaker to like Talonflame, as well as Charizard Y, stuff like that. So, but what I can do actually is put Stealth Rocks on Dugtrio. I really don't care if I get them up or not, to be honest. I don't really need them. And I think Roar is the better play overall, just to roar out Clefable. But we'll see. We'll see how I do after the first battle. And the next up on the team, we have Clefable. It really, you know, it's the standard spread, almost 96 for Defcom would be the standard spread to take on Greninja. But ORAS Greninja has Gunk Shot, so there's no counter on, or even switching really, on Hyper Offense. There's just checks. And my team doesn't really like Greninja at all, but I didn't feel like changing it at all. So I have Moonblast, Calm Mind, Soft Boiled, and this helps me with Mega Sableye. Mega Sableye is a big threat. It of course is not hit by Stored Power, and making sure all my EVs are right, making sure all my EVs are right, making sure all my EVs are right. I have HP Ground because, you know, screw Heatran. I want to get rid of that thing. That way it can't roar out my Mega Latias. It also hits Bisharp. I guess I could be running HP Fighting as well for T-Tar, but screw Heatran. So I run a bit more speed, that way I can outspeed other Clefable as well. And that's basically the team, so we're going to find a battle. Actually, real quick, if you guys haven't checked out my shirt, we're really close to the goal. This is my shirt. I'm making a PK face shirt that has like the thing, "What's wrong, friend?" and like a question mark and a PK face. It's pretty fun. I'll show you guys it before I actually, you know, put it up. But yeah, let's look for a battle. And okay, counter's incompatible. With what move? What move is counter incompatible with? Roost? No. Brave Bird? Maybe Brave Bird? Alright, well, Whirlwind it is. No, there's no point in Whirlwind. I'll put Stealth Rocks. And then I can put Roar and Heatran. Okay, we're good. We're good, bro. We're good. But that makes me weaker to SD Mega Scizor. I've never encountered this problem. I'll be weak to that. I don't care. Yeah, I don't care. I'll be weak to that. Whatever. The Skarmory's job now instead of Stealth Rock. So basically disregard what I said before. I didn't know that I couldn't do that, but let's look for another battle. And I'll pause it until we find one. Okay, so we have found a battle right away versus this guy with an offensive team. Just going to lead off with Heatran because I can Lava Plume the Azelf. He's probably just going to go for like Taunt or Stealth Rocks, and then he'll go for Explosion or something like that. So I'll just go right for Lava Plume. Clefable also helps me with Thundurus, but this thing just wrecks. This thing actually just murks his team. As long as Skarmory actually does the job that I'm hoping. I'm really hoping this is sub DD Immense or just Immense without Fire Blast. Because otherwise I just lost. But I'm just going to go right for Lava Plume. I'm not really sure what he's thinking about. Maybe he's like, damn, this is a Heatran. What should I do? Maybe he has HP Ground. I don't know. But I'm going to pause it until he picks a move. We'll be right back. Alright, so he does end up going for the Taunt, which is great because it looks like Lava Plume is a 2-hit KO. Now I'm pretty sure I'm going to do like 46 this turn as he gets up his Stealth Rocks. We'll see though. No, I am actually able to 2-hit KO him, which is great because he's not going to be able to go for something like Explosion right here, and as I definitely couldn't protect. So ends up going out into his Excadrill, as I do have Skarmory, which just beats that thing 1v1 very easily. So I actually am expecting him to double switch, predicting my Skarm, but I'm not gonna make that play. I'm not gonna stay in and go for Lava Plume just to get off mediocre damage on the Thundurus. So what I actually do is go out into my Latias, predicting his Thundurus, as he doesn't end up making that double, and it is time to Mega. It is time to Mega, and it is time to I'm inside. I believe I can just go for Calm Mind. No, I'm just gonna go for Calm Mind, yeah. As I do end up Megaing. Damage? Where? But yeah, I end up going for Calm Mind right now, as if he wants to go for T-Wave, that's completely fine. I'll be able to roost up right here, and I'm just going to be able to fire off a Stored Power. It's probably going to do minimal damage to what I'm expecting to be Assault. Oh, dude. Minimal. My mistake. Latias, I am sorry. This thing is still a check to like Thundurus, even when paralyzed, so I'm going to switch out into my Skarmory, as he ends up going for Play Rough, and what I can do is just go for a Toxic. as he's more likely going to go for knockoff right here. But he ends up going for belly drum, which is scary. But I am able to get off that toxic, which is great. And for this game, I don't really need Chestnut. And Chestnut takes Waterfall anyway and then goes for Spiky Shield regardless. So he ends up going for Aqua Jet, which is completely fine by me. What I can do is just go for Spiky Shield. I could also go for Leech Seed, which would be a more aggressive play, but Spiky Shield is my best possible play. I don't care if he switches out, as I was able to basically nullify this Azumarill. Kind of weird that he just went for Belly Drum right off the bat. But then again, he probably wasn't expecting Toxic, so I'm glad I did have Toxic, and I'm glad that it did land, as I'm able to wear down this Azumarill and deal with it completely. Play Rough right there probably would have been a good play, but it didn't matter. I would just sack into the Pokemon that was going to be useless for this battle. Not useless, but not going to be needed for this battle. So just going to go for Protect or Psychic Shield, whatever, as he's taking a while. Just going to pause it until he takes a move. Alright, so he ends up going for Waterfall right into my Spiky Shield. So he is going to go down, as now he goes out to Salamence, and this thing is threat. This thing is a threat and it is inside. So I'm going to switch out into my Skarmory, as we'll find out what set he's running, as he ends up going for Dragon Dance. Now, it really depends on what set he's running. If he has Fire Blast, I could lose. He is running the substitute set, so I am going to be, I think I should be okay right here. He ends up hitting me with Frustration, though. That does 0, as I do have Brave Bird, as I am able to break his sub, so just going to go for Roost again. He's more likely going to go for sub, as he ends up going for Dragon Dance, and ooh, it's bad. I'm going to try and hit him with I'm going to go for Toxic, as he ends up going for sub. And that's bad. I really should have went for the Toxic before, but I am going to be able to break his sub right now, as it should be a roll if he's going to be able to knock me out. I am going to try and go for Toxic, as he ends up going for Frustration, and I do get the roll right. So it's Skarmory just taking 1v1ing Mence right now, as ooh, I don't need Skarmory anymore. So basically, Skarmory did its job. It 1v1 Mence, which is exactly what I needed. Now I can go out into my Chestnut, and do I want to be real and go for Leech Seed, predicting the? I kind of want to be real and go for Leech Seed, predicting the Roost. I'm going for it, as he ends up going for Earthquake. I guess not wanting to ran into my Spiky Shield, so I am able to get this Leech Seed off, as it works out for me. And now what I can do is just go right for the Spiky Shield, as he ends up switching out into Talonflame. But Talonflame shouldn't really matter, because I do have my Heatran, which just comes in, goes for Toxic, etc., etc. As he ends up going for Brave Bird, and he gets a crit, so Talonflame is a bit more of a threat, but I'm pretty sure Latias can take it on. So just going to go for Toxic right now, as he goes for another Brave Bird. And the combination of Toxic missing and the fact that that's doing too much is kind of scary. So I'm going to go for Protect, as he is going to go for Brave Bird again. And so you can go out to, if you go out to the extra drill, I just get more HP. So I'm going to go for another Toxic, as hopefully I do land this time. Basically, this team is a lot of Toxic stall, if you guys can't tell. But it's you know, it's in my favor. Like, this is what I wanted to do, to wear down teams. But he ends up switching out to Salamence. If he predicted my Protect, if I were him, I would have went out to something other than Salamence. But to each their own. I was able to get off the Toxic on Talonflame, which is huge. It's absolutely huge for my team, as he ends up going back on Talonflame for some reason. I'm just going to go for Protect, as he goes for Brave Bird again. I don't know why he made that play. I guess it's because I was wearing him down. I'm not entirely sure. But this has Stone Edge, so I'm fine versus that. I'm going to go for Double Protect. Like, what do I lose from that? If I get it, great. If I don't, amazing. Doesn't matter at all. And I'm going to go for a triple. For real. We out here. Nope. But he is going to be able to knock me out, and I think Poison will be able to knock him out as well. No, that is not the case. Though Chestnut completely walls that and that. I do have my Clefable, which can just come in and go for a safe Soft Boiled. I can tank this banded Brave Bird, as I am going to be able to get back up to a good amount of HP, and Clefable is basically going to be able to take out Thundurus, but he ends up going out into Driller. If he wants to go for Iron Head, that's fine. I do have Chestnut. I'm just going to go for the HP Ground, as he ends up going for Iron Head, and Chestnut is going to be able to come in and just go for a Leech Seed right now. Just give me your souls. Literally give me your souls. There's nothing, like, that did nothing. That did literally 0. As I'm just going to go for Leech Seed again, predicting him to want to go out into Thundurus. as he does end up bringing out Thunderous, and I am able to take that thing on. Nice. That did 0. He has HP Ice, so either way, I'm just going to go for the Drain Punch, as I don't take that as well as I thought, so that might have been a bad play, but Latias is going to be able to take on the Excadrill anyway, so just going to go for Spiky Shield right here, as I'll be able to get a bit more leftovers back, as well as the Leech Seed, and like I said, Latias can take on anything this thing wants to go for. That literally does 0. That's a Life Orb hit, man. That's crazy how small that, that's crazy how little that does. And let's see how much this Excadrill's Iron Head's gonna do to me. That did nothing. Oh, that's crazy. If I wanted to, I can just Calm Mind up. Well, I can try to anyway. Just do a bit of damage. It doesn't really necessarily matter. Obviously, it's in his, that's in his favor to go for paras and, you know, get the flinches, but I don't really mind that too much. I don't know if actually Iron Head kills me. Yeah, it definitely kills me. So I'm going to go on to my Chestnut and just going to go for Spiky Shield. If he actually gets a flinch, I could be in a really bad position, but we'll see. A flinch or crit, but he does get the flinch, and I think now it depends on if he gets a crit or not. So just going to get up that Spiky Shield, you know, wearing him down just a bit more. I'm sorry this team is a bit bulkier, but if he gets a crit right here, I've lost, as I do not get the crit or the flinch, and Chestnut's able to Drain Punch back up to victory. So nice. Let's look for another game. I'll pause it till we find one. Okay, so we have found a game right away. Now my opponent's team is definitely threatening, but Clefable can beat it 1v1. So can Latias. Actually, Latias just 6-0s his team. So if I can weaken the Politoed, so that's going to be my goal right here. I'm just going to go for the Moonblast, just trying to weaken this Politoed, as he doesn't have a spinner on his team, so I should be good. It's probably Damp Rock with Scald or stuff like that, but he ends up going for Hypnosis. That sucks. I made a burn the first turn of Sleep though, which is exactly what I need, as he ends up going out to Kingdra, and Kingdra is definitely a threat. Kingdra is a threat. I do have Latias though. I am going to try and go out into it as he goes for Hydro Pump. Now I don't know what set he is, but I'm going to go back out into my Clefable, as he actually ends up pulling a double into Ferrothorn. So just going to get my Spikes now, because if you guys didn't know, Bulletproof protects me from Gyro Ball. I did not know that. I actually learned that recently. Shoutouts to my boy Chimpact and Key, who told me, as he ends up going out into Clefable. And what I can do is just go out into my Heatran and just roar this thing out, as he makes a nice double back into Kingdra. But there's one more turn of Rain. I do have Protect just to scout, and the Hazard's damage is going to start racking up. So he ends up going for Hydro Pump, as I am just going to switch out to Latias. Definitely 100%. These spikes are really going to help me set up versus his team. I'm going for the late game Latias sweep, so that's going to be my plan right there. Definitely going to go out to Latias. I really want to Mega Evolve as quickly as possible, as he ends up going back out to Toad. But the thing with Toad is, I don't want to risk him going for Toxic. But I am going to go for, I am going to Mega Evolve and go for Calm Mind, as he ends up going into his Ferrothorn. And the thing is, I can stall out this Ferrothorn completely. It might actually just be game right now, but we'll see though. I'm going to go for Calm Mind. Gyro Ball is not going to do too much. The fact that I am bulky, the fact that I am behind a sub, I'm not really too worried. If his Clefable is even unaware, which I don't think so, I'm not sure, it ends up breaking my sub, but I will be able to stall him out 1v1. So going to go for sub again, as he goes for the Gyro Ball. I'm just going to go for Roost. If he wants to go for Leech Seed, good play on his part. Ends up going for Gyro Ball though, and like I said, I'm going to go for Roost again. As he goes for Knockoff, that does 0, so I can stall him out. I'm going to go for Calm Mind, as I can end up behind a sub versus this thing. Goes for Gyro Ball, and I really don't know his last move. Stealth Rocks, Gyro Ball. If he has Leech Seed, he'll go for it here, but he ends up going out to Politoed now. And I really just want to go for Stored Power. I don't know if he's Scarf or not. No, he's definitely not Scarf. He had 8 turns of Rain. But I will be able to fire off a Stored Power on this Clefable. Gone. Clefable is gone. And Latias can actually just 6-0 his team right now. Yeah, it's a good game. Nothing else can be done. Nothing else can be done, especially because he goes back onto this. He doesn't want to sack anything else to this thing. So, how many gyro balls is that actually? I'll go for sub. Command F, Control F. Oops. Feral Thorn. Gyro ball. Oh, he used 6 gyro balls. That's crazy. To be honest, I want to see if I could tank a Draco. But I'll just go for Stored Powers. He ends up going for Dragon Pulse as he is able to break my sub. And Stored Power is going to wipe him out the face of the planet as he goes out to Pert. The thing is, though, Pert isn't going to have its Swift Swim because it hasn't Mega Evolved. And unless he has Protect. Oh, he does. Cool. Positive I can live an Ice Punch, to be honest. But is that worth risking right now? Doesn't matter. I'll go for it. As I do end up living the Ice Punch. So bulky. My spread is so bulky. As I am going to be able to knock him out with the Stored Power. And, yeah, it's looking like it's going to be game. Because even if he does go for Leech Seed here, if he has it, I don't think he can do anything after that. Like, I'm just going to actually switch out after I go for one more Roost. That way I can just spam Drain Punch with my Chestnut. So, goes for Gyro Ball. And he's only going to have one more after this. So I'll actually go for Roost one more time. As he is going to go for Gyro Ball one last time. And that's his last Gyro Ball. So I can go for one more Roost and actually be at a good amount of HP. As he ends up going out to Toad. And I don't even have to switch out. Stored Power will OHKO this thing. I actually don't know how much it will do with Ferrothorn. But we'll find out. And Ferrothorn doesn't have Protect. So yeah, it goes back out into Ferrothorn. Takes that little spike. And oh my god. Latias, calm down. Like I said, guys, I was pretty sure Latias would sweep his team. This is why this Pokemon's so good. Especially with the right support. The fact that he didn't really have a steel type that I was scared of, like Bisharp, or a dark type like T-Tar. Mostly dark types, not really steel types, dark types. But yeah, I'm going to be able to outspeed this thing and knock it out. And his last is going to be his Magnezone. So Latias putting in so much work. Really just putting in so much work. As I am able to knock him out with Stored Power. Let me say good game. As we can get one more battle. And I'll pause it till we find one. Okay, so we have found another battle, and my opponent has a very, very strong team. Me too. But this is the type of team that Mega Latias does destroy. I'm just going to lead off with Skarmory because I do have a Shed Shell, as he ends up leading off with Mamoswine, and I can just get out my Stealth Rocks right here. As he ends up switching directly out into Zone, and I'm actually going to pull a switch directly into my Dugtrio. He might predict that and actually go for Flash Cannon. That would be a really good play, but we'll see. If he does, I mean, it would be nice if I trap him, but if he does end up going for the... Okay, so he didn't expect the Shed Shell, and I am going to be able to knock out this Magnezone right off the bat with the Earthquake. So that's one big threat gone. The team doing exactly what I wanted it to do. And the fact that Mamoswine, I have Skarmory still for Mamoswine, which is part of the reason why I really wanted Shed Shell, is huge. Skarmory can actually 1v1 a lot of his teams, so goes out to Azumarill. Azumarill being a threat, of course, but I do have the Skarmory, I do have the Toxic, I can deal with this thing, as he ends up going for Waterfall, and I am just going to go for Toxic. I could double out predicting the Heat Ram, but there's really no point, as he actually does end up having an Air Balloon, so that's good to know. Now, if I want to, I could actually just win right now with Latias, but that's not worth the potential burn, so I'm actually going to switch out to my Clefable, because Clefable also does a lot of work to this guy's team. Especially because I do have HP Ground. I basically was really prepped for things like this. So I'm actually going to switch out into Latias just in case he has Flash Cannon because he seems to be offensive as he ends up going for Taunt. And that's good to know that he has that. Now while I could trap him, I'm actually going to switch out into Heatran just in case he is Toxic as he pulls a double out to his Latias. So that's great for me, because I am able to get inside here. Even if he has Earthquake, I'm completely fine with that. I'll just go for my Toxic, wearing down this Latios. As, kind of want to go out to my Clefable. That way I could take any hit. I don't want to risk him going for, like, anything that can really threaten me, such as an Earthquake if he did have it. So I go out to my Clefable. I don't want to risk taking an Earthquake, so I'm going to switch out into my Skarmory, as he ends up going for Stealth Rocks, and what I can do is actually just go for the Brave Bird predicting him to want to go out into his Heatran, as I can pop that thing's balloon, meaning it is no longer safe from Dugtrio. So that is gone. That balloon is gone, and that balloon being gone is huge because I can actually just sack my Clefable if I want to, and then go out into Dugtrio. He actually ends up critting me, which is a bit unfortunate, but nothing I can do about that. It works out for me though, as I am going to be able to trap him with my Dugtrio, ensuring once again that one, Skarmory walls most of his team, as it doesn't really care for Mamoswine, doesn't care for Beedrill, doesn't care for Azumarill. Latias only being a threat if Latias actually has T-Bolt. Latios, sorry. But he ends up going out to Beedrill, and if he has Protect, that's cool. He probably does have Protect, as he does end up having Protect, yeah. And, nothing I can do here, so I'm just going to sack this thing to the U-turn. I was thinking about Mementoing versus Latios after, but when would I get a free switch in a Latios? Like, for real, though. I really wouldn't. Combination of Skarmory plus Heatran is strong versus this guy's team. Just going to go out into my Skarmory right now, and I'm going to roost up a bit, as I will be at sturdy. I'll be at full, and I definitely do outspeed this Azumarill. So the second I get this thing Toxic, I'm in a nice position. So goes for Waterfall, as that does 0. And again, just going to go for Roost, as I want to be at a good amount of HP to take on this entire team, basically. So I'm going to go for Roost, as he goes for Waterfall once again. And I can just go for Toxic, as I am going to be able to land it on the Azumarill. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use Latias this battle. We'll see, though. The fact that I did land that Toxic is huge, because it's going to be wearing him down. But his team is kind of strong versus Latias, Mega Latias, so I might not be able to use it. It might just be more showcasing how the team works with Skarmory plus Dugtrio, which is completely fine. This is why I built this team. Skarmory walls so much of the meta right now. Though, did you guys see how much +2 frustration did to my Skarmory? Yeah, it wasn't his fault though. You didn't expect it. That's okay. It's alright. But yeah, he doesn't really have a Skarm counter right now, which is kind of what I expect. And the fact that I have Brave Bird means that Beedrill doesn't wall me at all. And I would have, yeah, that would have been okay if he clicked Flash Cannon. That's why I doubled into Latias right there. Right here, though, I was just being safe, but he's able to go for Waterfall again. Again, he's just like wearing me down, not really doing much. The cool thing about Chestnut is it actually takes on, like, it doesn't get O-code by Mamoswine. So I am just going to go for Roost a bit more, because I do want to stall him out just a bit more. I need to be a good amount of HP. I know this is probably a bit for you guys to watch, but this is how I'm going to win this game. So goes out to Latios, and if he has Earthquake, you know, that's nice. That's really nice. But going to switch out into my Heatran, as I can take on any hit, as he ends up going out into his Mamoswine, and I have no reason to risk anything right now. So going to go right back out into my Skarmory, as he goes for Icicle Spear, and he's actually getting a crit, which does nothing, so it's probably Focus Sash, as I'm actually going to go for Toxic. Toxic isn't necessarily my best play, but if I can catch something, I'm good with that. So I'm going to go for Roost, actually, as he ends up staying in. The only reason I didn't go for Toxic is because if he didn't stay in, I didn't want to go for Toxic. So I'm going to go for Brave Bird, just in case he wants to switch out into, well, even if he wants to stay in, I'd rather go for Brave Bird, just to break a potential Sash. I'm pretty positive he's Sash. And if he wants to go out to Latios, I'm limiting that thing switching. Actually, why am I not going for Stealth Rocks? Like, getting those up will be huge versus him. So, going to be able to hit him with a Brave Bird, as I take enough recoil to the point where if if 9 times 5 is 45, yeah. If he gets 5 hits, oh, I was doing 8, never mind. So, yeah, I'm going to be able to go for my Roost one last time. I know this is like, but this is how I'm going to win this battle. So, I'm going to go for it right now, as I am actually just going to go for Toxic now. He really is in that position where, okay, he can't win. Like, especially after I landed that Toxic, it's basically over. Skarmory just 1v1ing an entire team, as he's actually stalling me out of Roost, which is a little bit scary, to say the least, but not necessarily the worst for me. So I'm going to switch out to Heatran now, because he's definitely not going to go for the Earthquake, as he does end up going for Icicle Spear. And I do have the Protect that I can just go for, as I will be able to wear this thing down. Just showing how this team really does work. I really love this team. It's really weak to Greninja, but it's really hard to make a team that's not weak to Greninja. So Goes out to Beedrill. If he's going for U-turn, I think it's time I sack the Latias, as he isn't going for the U-turn. So unfortunately I didn't get to showcase Mega Latias this game, but I showcased it the last game, which is exactly what it does to teams that are very unprepared. My opponent's team is very prepared for a Pokemon like Mega Latias, so I'm just going to go out to my Heatran, and if he has Earthquake, that's kind of scary. We'll see though. If he drops a Draco, that's dealt with a bit. The fact that I don't have defog support on my team kind of sucks, but that's not something I really wanted to have. So he goes out to Beedrill, as that is just going to go down to the Lava Plume. And as long as I keep Tran alive, I'm safe versus his Latios. So going to hit him up with a Protect, as he is going to go for Waterfall. And I believe what I can do is just go out to my Chestnut. There's no reason not to. It'll be able to take Play Rough plus any other attack, as he ends up going out into his Latios, and I can take the Side Shock from this thing if he wants to go for it. If he wants to go for Draco, that's fine too. Either way, I get off a Roost, as I am going to be able to take this thing on, and I'm just going to go for, yeah, like I said, I can eat up any hit. I'm going to go for a Spike, that way I force him to actually defog later on, and I'm going to switch out into my my Heatran, because I can recover some HP versus this thing, and go for like a last minute Spiky Shield versus this thing, as he ends up going for Draco, like I kind of was expecting right there, as the combination of Life Orb plus Toxic plus the poison damage itself is going to be able to knock him out. And his last is this Azumarill, which of course I can just go for Protect versus. Again, it is a bit stally, guys, but some teams this is what you have to do. This is semi-stall, I guess you could say. And Lava Plume, it doesn't matter if he knocks me out, as he ends up going for the knockoff. There was no point of him going for that versus anything else, and I can just go for Lava Plume again, as he is going to go down to the Toxic damage this turn. So let me just say good game to him, and yeah, good game, dude. Guys, I hope you guys all enjoyed. I know that last part was kind of iffy, but that's how I love how well the Skarmory plus Dugtrio worked, Skarmory plus Tran worked. It was able to 1v1 teams. So leave a like if you guys enjoyed. I know the last battle was a bit stally, but the second battle completely showed how the team was supposed to work. So I hope that makes up for that. Yeah, stay tuned for more X and Y. No, ORAS. Check out the shirt if you guys haven't already. And yeah, until next time, later.